All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shati from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And we got this situation happening out of Baltimore. Be more careful, Maryland. Okay, so we're gonna let this video play and then we'll get some scripture.
Today, they're saying 25 bodies just dropped in the middle of the street from a drug overdose. People from Baltimore are saying that it's a new drug called New Jack and most likely has Fetty in it. And if you know like I know, you already know this situation is about to be all bad because once bodies start dropping, more people are going to want to try it. And the feds, they're going to have to get involved, especially after Trump already announced what he wants to do with D.C. and how he wants the feds to take over and clean it up. So they'll definitely be in Baltimore trying to get to the bottom of this. But here goes a news clip.
Started finding people right at the intersection of West North Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. From here, they branched out and found more patients. A warning that some parts of this story may be difficult to watch.
This is a level 1 mass casualty incident. So for us, irregardless of the nature of the call, the amount of patients scripts how we respond to this. And we've done just that.
The number of overdose patients only going up, all coming from the Penn North area of West Baltimore. 11 News was there as person after person received Narcan. Our cameras rolling as crews saved a man's life. You can see the moment he sits up, able to breathe again.
It's a big problem, so somebody need to do something about it.
People who live here say overdoses are nothing new, but Thursday reached an extreme.
I'm really surprised. Now, you might hear about 1 or 2, something like that, but now, 15?
Chief James Wallace says it started around 9:30 in the morning when his crews were dispatched to Pennsylvania and West North Avenue for the first overdose. That soon escalated, with community members leading medics to more people found unconscious.
Our initial responders recognized right away where this was heading, and they called for a lot of resources well in advance of us discovering the amount of patients that we've discovered so far.
Medic units dropping patients off and coming back to pick up more. Police say they're treating this as an active crime scene and a search and rescue operation. The health department is canvassing, handing out test strips and Narcan to anyone who will take it.
We don't know what's in the supply, and so for folks to be careful, if they're using to have Narcan available, use with someone else. If you see someone in your community that looks like they need help, make sure they call emergency services. And we'll have teams out from this area all day.
People here say they want more preventative action before an emergency like this happens.
I just literally saved somebody 2 days ago down by in front of the courthouse. And a feeding assistant had to go run and get this because of the same. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of talking about it. Something need to be done for real.
Officials do not know what drug caused this. They say they'll need an analysis to determine that. They continue to stay here and provide resources. In West Baltimore, I'm Tommy Clark, WBIL TV 11 News.
Did anybody catch what happened?
All right, so you see the judgment of the Lord is going around in the city of Baltimore. Okay, let's get that in the scripture. All right. Amos 3 and 6, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city and Yahweh hath not done it? Right. All these people who are dropping of overdoses and some probably going to the spirit world. This is all judgment of the Lord. Now you might be asking yourself, hey, if the so-called God that we believe is all love is destroying our people, like if he is doing it, why is he doing it? Okay, and the reason why the Lord is doing this is because as spoken of in what's that? Hosea 4 and 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Right? So our people, all right, the judgment of the Lord is going about in the city, destroying our people, is because they lack knowledge. They have, the Lord said, they rejected knowledge. And what do we know what the scripture says? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and understanding. Okay? The fear of the Lord driveth away sin. Right. So when you reject the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, okay, you are basically telling the Lord you do not want to live righteously. You want to live in sin. Okay, when you tell the Lord that you don't want to obey what he has to offer and to give you, then there is no other alternative but to do things that are contrary to the Lord, which is sin. And as we all know, the scripture tells us the wages of sin is death. So all of our people getting destroyed by these drugs is the judgment of the Lord because they refuse to get right with the Lord. And you see, this is nothing new. This thing happens in all major cities every so often. These guys go into these labs and make these so-called new and improved drugs so that the concentration is more potent, the high is greater, but the risk of fatality is also greater. Okay, and you got these folks that are bugged out, that don't care about the Lord, don't care about getting clean, don't want shaping up or straighten out their lives whatsoever. Hey, then the Lord is giving them to it. You rejected the knowledge of the Lord. That means the Lord, as it said, is going to reject thee. And how is he going to reject thee? How has he rejected all these jakes who are getting destroyed? All right. This is Romans 1 and 28. It says, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, they didn't want this knowledge, wisdom, of understanding of the Lord. They rejected it. God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Right? Because our people rejected the Lord rejected them by giving them over to that sinful mindset. Okay, he gave them up to a mindset and a behavior to do things which are not convenient, things that are not pleasing in the sight of the Lord. And being a damn dope fiend is something that is not pleasing in the sight of the Lord. To be bugged out in the middle of the street, hunched over, waving back and forth like a tree in the wind. All right, the Lord gave our people up to that. So much to the point where it eventually ends up destroying them. As I mentioned earlier, the wages of sin is death. These people rejected the Lord. The Lord gave them over to a reprobate mind to do things which are not pleasing in his sight, living a life of sin. And so the Lord's like, hey, once you fulfilled your measure of sin, as the scripture says, was that sin, when it's fully fulfilled, brings forth death? What's that? Where is that? Let me put it on a pause and find it real quick. This is James 1 and I could do 14. It says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and is enticed. Right. See, when the Lord gives you over to that reprobate mind for rejecting his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, it's very easy to fall victim to all your sinful lusts. And it says, then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. The wages of sin is death. Right. So this life that folks have led that is contrary to the Lord, once it's reached this measure, hey, the Lord just puts the judgment out. And this is why you have all these people ODing. And I'm sure this is not only happening in Baltimore, it's happening in all major cities all across the United States. And see, until our people get right, the Lord is just going to continue to put more and more judgment on our people. So that's all I wanted to say on this. Hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say Shalom.